Alright guys, TetraGrabber here again today, back again with another ASMR video. Today we're going to be talking about CWL Anaheim day number 1. I'm talking quiet, I'm in a hotel room, people are around me, don't want to make too much noise, it's late at night, it's about 11 PM, could be kids about, it's Anaheim after all, people going to Disneyland, all that good stuff, so I'm trying to keep it on the down low, but you guys should be able to keep on hearing me with any luck. So first of all, CWL Anaheim, the day 1 ended today. Very, very interesting few matches, especially the one that just finished. I just got back from the venue here, got a pizza, came straight back to the room, and we're going to grind out and upload. Not sure what will happen tomorrow, but then Monday's video or Sunday's video, whatever, should be perfectly fine. Okay, let's crack on with it then. So firstly, before we get into things, Champs was announced in Los Angeles today. Again, so right now I'm in LA, in Anaheim. It's going to be a different place in Los Angeles. I forget the exact name of it, but it's some like basketball stadium. Momo reckons it's because like pretty cheap relative to be there compared to other places. It's really bad, honestly, for European fans. Like not the best at all. For Australians, it's kind of bad no matter what. But for Europe, especially for Champs, I thought they would try and do it as best they could East Coast. And maybe they did, because it's the best for time zones. But as it turns out, it's ended up being on the West Coast. And, I mean, you guys are in the UK right now trying to watch these matches. It's just not good. And that trend will no doubt continue. But I thought I would at least bring that to your guys' attention. So moving onwards here, these were the matches for the day. Let me just make them an appropriate size. Will that do? That'll about do. So yes, here we go. This was day 1 of action, and these are all the pools. I'll show you the pool standings as we go to the end of this, and then we'll look at the matches for tomorrow and how the bracket is shaping up for Saturday, because it's very spicy indeed. So first of all, let's go through. I guess Gamepedia is setting these out a little bit different here, so I guess we can just go through from the top. But firstly, we had Heretics versus Evil Geniuses. Very interesting matchup actually. In the game 2 in this one, there was a crazy situation. I couldn't quite understand it. Revan was talking about it backstage. It was a very interesting scenario. Like EG, I think, were in the search and destroy, they were down 4-2, but Heretics won a round and Journey got a kill and jumped off the map at the same time somehow. Therefore, they got like 2 rounds, did Heretics. So they technically went up 4-2, but the game decided it was 5-2. And then EG came back and tied it up or something, went to around 11. But because Heretics had that extra round, they wanted to claim the victory. Eventually, it was, I think, replayed, and then Heretics did win and ended up winning 3-1. But Revan thinks they should have at least had a game 5 there. Then OpTic versus the Units was crazy. This is like the ex-Denial team. They went up 2-0 in the series here. I was surprised with OpTic's really vetoes. They didn't scrim FaZe like they were meant to before they turned up. There was a scrim schedule of 12 with FaZe. Their game was starting at 2. Instead, they turned up to the arena at 1, didn't play their scrim, and just went straight into the match. So I'm not surprised that they came out slow and went down 2-0, to be honest. Game 2, I was very surprised that OpTic decided not to veto Arsenal Search and Destroy, which is good for OpTic, but it's definitely the best map that Denial have for sure right now. So I was surprised they went down that route. Bance gave him a little bit of a lesson, but then OpTic Gaming, of course, bounced back, won the next 3 maps. OpTic, as in what I meant to say is Units were playing pretty damn well overall. OpTic just, it's OpTic, what can you expect? They went on to dominate their other 2 series of the day. And, I can't even talk too much about OpTic Game versus EG and Heretics because it was very, very comfortable, as you would expect, especially OpTic versus Heretics on main stage, definitely, and EG as well. Like these matches were very, very comfortable indeed. But yeah, after their little bit of a slow start against Units, then they very much did bounce back. So yeah, Heretics took down Units as well. These matches that the Units lost 3-0 were just tragic, really. Like there was so many of these maps that they could have won on a much better day for them, and especially this game against Heretics. The control was absolutely tragic. Like they had such an advantage on their side in the final map. The final map they lost. It was the control. It went all the way to a round 5 within the control, and they had a huge life advantage. They had many streaks. They had specialists, and they threw it away. And also they were down 5-1 in the search, came back to 5-5, and then lost the round 11, which is always a complete dagger. And then EG versus them wasn't even close at the end of the day. So we'll have to see what they get up to tomorrow, but we'll have a look at the losers bracket in just a second here. So going on to Pool B, game 1 of the day, I'll have to put Zed's 1v4 on screen right now. eUnited versus Reciprocity was unbelievable. Game 1 was incredibly close, so was game 2, went all the way to around 11, and Reciprocity lost game 1 like 250 to 30, and then game 2 like 6-5. And the control wasn't so close, but wow, like Reciprocity got very, very unlucky not to win a map here, and it really did cost them down the stretch, as we'll see in a second. Elevate took down UYU 3-2, then eUnited went very, very close with the UYU, like they went game 5 with both UYU and Elevate. They actually lost the one to Elevate, but yeah, this is a crazy series. Like a lot of people came into this expecting eUnited to be like that team who was going to be dominating their pool like 100 Thieves did, and also like, of course, OpTic did in Pool A. But yeah, eUnited just putting on not necessarily the biggest clinic we would expect. They did win the game 5 here, but it was very sketchy at times, especially in a couple of those hard points. Then Reciprocity bounced back very nicely against a win over Elevate. They actually got 100 point clubbed in the first hard point here, and then they came back very convincingly, won the next 3 maps comfortably, and then they took down UYU in similar fashion, just completely smoked them. Dylan CoD is just an absolute monster. But then eUnited versus Elevate was a very interesting series for qualification. eUnited had already made it through after their 2 victories, but if Elevate were to win, at least once it went to a game 5, this is what the status quo was. If Elevate were to win, then they would go through along with eUnited, and Reciprocity would lose, which has ended up happening, which is just, I messed up the sentence, but it's crazy really how Reciprocity go 2-1 and then they go straight down to losers. Like, I really don't like this system, let's put it that way. And yeah, the fact that these maps were so close against eUnited, the way it works, as we'll see when we look at the pools in just a second here, it works off the tiebreakers between the teams that are tied, rather than your score against the team that you beat, right? Because Elevate and eUnited both 3-2'd UYU, and Reciprocity 3-0'd them. So you'd think that would give them some sort of an advantage, right, in terms of the tiebreakers between Elevate and eUnited, but it doesn't at all. Doesn't matter how you beat the team that is outside the tiebreaker, which I don't think is necessarily the right way to do it, but I did talk about that in the past. So Pool C was interesting. FaZe Splice went exactly as I expected it. Splice won the search. FaZe won all the respawns comfortably. They looked very, very dominant. Enigma 6 took down Midnight on the side station. I thought, okay, this is pretty interesting. And, I had Pool C when I initially saw the pools and I talked through them. I had this as my pool of death. So I think I've done a decent job here. At the time, after these first 2 matches, I was like, okay, it's basically what we expected, fair enough. But then, when FaZe went game 5 with Midnight, Midnight could have won this series. They won the control, and then it really took FaZe clutching up in a hard point, and it was a very close hard point to go game 5, and then they won the game 5 as well. And then E6 3-0'd Splice, and this was crazy stuff, and Midnight also got the better of Splice at 3-1 later in the day. Like, I think I'll put on the video on screen of Midnight making that comeback game 4 against Splice to close out the series, which is crazy. But wow, like Enigma 6 versus Splice was just, E6 is just absolutely crushing it. Like, they 3-0'd FaZe as well to end the day. Actually, I think these series may have been the other way around, but still, it was especially these 2, but it was just ridiculous what happened. Fair play to Enigma 6. Got to give them a lot of credit here. They had a fantastic day of action and very much impressed with them. I thought they could do something here. I didn't think they'd be making it out the pool, but well, they have made it out the pool with a 9-in-1 map count, which is equals the best of anyone else in any other pool. So super impressive from Enigma 6. That tweet that Kismet did, that's like a copy pasta saying, you'll see when we're fighting for a championship on Sunday, it has in fact worked out in their favour. So very impressive stuff from them, and FaZe will join them in the second place because Midnight end up getting only 1 series win, and Splice get completely destroyed, and that didn't go well for them. Another team that didn't go well for was EnVy. They got completely mopped today. Ridiculous. They didn't win a single map. Crazy scenes. Like, Genji take him down 3-0. Looked comfortable at the time. I was like, okay, maybe Genji getting back to form, the kind of form we've seen at London. And then 100 Thieves just completely smoked LG, completely smoked EnVy. Like, this pool was so dull, people talking about how this pool was the pool of death, right? The way I looked at it, I thought it should be relatively clear. I think I may have even said EnVy were going to come second, but regardless, I thought the victories were going to be kind of clear. It's the same thing what happened at London. Gen.G was in that pool with Splice, Luminosity, and Denial, and it was just super convincing. Everyone just won their series kind of comfortably, and it was just simply a 3-0, 2-1, 1-2, 0-3 type affair. And a similar situation here because, yeah, EnVy got completely destroyed, and then LG took down EnVy 3-0, which is just like, when that's happening and LG with Ricky's taking down EnVy, like, man, you just got to chalk it at that point. It's just their teamwork is non-existent, their search and destroy is tragic, and just pretty embarrassing right now. And then 100 Thieves versus Gen.G was one of the second last match on main stage. It's kind of fun actually, like it went the distance here. The control was actually won by Gen.G, which was a kind of a surprise, but 100 Thieves looking very, very good in the respawns. Once again, just dominating the hard points most of all. The last map was a little bit close, but yeah, 100 Thieves and FaZe really at the start of the day were looking like the best respawn teams in the game. Of course, you can put OpTic up there, but I really don't rate a lot of their opponents that they played today particularly highly. I think 100 Thieves did maybe they showed a little bit of better form, but then you know, maybe Gen.G was their only actual good competitor today, so still difficult to say who right now is playing better between OpTic and 100 Thieves. Hopefully we'll get that matchup down the line. And FaZe I thought were going to be great early on, but you know, this loss to Enigma 6 has maybe set back their progress a little bit, and we'll see who they're facing in winners round 1, because that of course does mean a lot. So let's have a look briefly through these pools right here. So yeah, OpTic Gaming come out number 1, Heretics number 2 from Pool A. Pool B is E6 FaZe Clan, Midnight Splice. So yeah, Splice having a horrible time of things. 2-9 only on the map count on the day. And then yeah, this is Pool D. I got these the wrong way round. So another simple 3-0, 2-1, 1-2, 0-3 pool. So a lot of people would have expected that. And also we have the final Pool B, which is where things got crazy. And as I'm saying, even though UYU, they ended up getting beaten by Reciprocity more comfortably than the other two, the tiebreakers only go between them. And because Reciprocity beat Elevate 3-1, but they lost 3-0 to eUnited, that means their overall map count is 3-4 against the two teams, whereas the other two teams, it's, you know, 4-4 and 4-3 or whatever it would work out as. But yeah, difficult, I think. I don't like the fact that Elevate is 7-7, Reciprocity is 6-4, but yet still Elevate are the ones making another pool. But of course, I am biased in favour of my guys. So yes, let's move onwards here to the bracket for the final day. Let's make this a tad bit smaller for you guys. So this is the winners bracket for tomorrow. OpTic Gaming FaZe Clan is the winners quarterfinals game 1. This is crazy exciting. I don't know. Right now, OpTic should be clear favourites, to be honest, how FaZe have been playing. I think they did not have the best finish to the day. But yeah, you never know. FaZe are a super, super solid respawn team. In my opinion, it comes down to the search. I can very much see a Game 5 in this series, to be honest. If OpTic can take the respawns, I'll be very, very impressed. Enigma 6 did manage to do it, of course, but on paper, FaZe's hardpoint is very much one of the strongest hardpoint teams in the game. So this is going to be a very fun series to keep your eyes on. Elevate 100 Thieves is interesting because, I mean, look, 100 Thieves on paper should destroy Elevate. They did in the league when they played a swift 3-0. That's what I'm predicting once again. But Elevate were super, super good today. Of course, that series against eUnited did mean a lot more for Elevate. They needed to win it to qualify than it did for eUnited. So maybe that's a little bit of a caveat you can put, but still, you know, very well done from them to make it out into the bracket. And then we have Enigma 6 Heretics. Like, on Enigma 6's current form, like, Heretics should not stand too much of a chance in this one, but you never really know what's going to happen in these winners round 1s. And then Gen.G eUnited is the quarterfinal on the other side of things. This is going to be a very spicy affair as well, because eUnited, yes, they topped their pool, but Gen.G came second in a difficult pool with 100 Thieves. So I guess it is the pool of death in the respect that the top two teams are probably the best that have come out of all the pools combined. So these are your winners quarterfinals, and then we have the losers side of things. Midnight are playing Units, Reciprocity are playing EnVy game 1 to not go top 16. Evil Geniuses, Splice, Luminosity, UYU. So a lot of the, you know, 4 of these teams are going to place top 16. Difficult to say where my money is right now, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like if you did, subscribe if you're new as always, for more ASMR content coming soon to a city near you. And yeah, see you guys tomorrow. Probably not sure when I'll be able to make a video tomorrow. Might just have to be one for Monday. We'll just have to see how it goes tomorrow night. You know, it's going to be a late one. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I will see you next time.